Yeah, we are literally live right now. So we'll come back to that topic in a few minutes, right? Because we don't want to go there just for the moment. Right, lads, right peeps, here we are again. We're in the bunker, a few texty things and all that we didn't have last week going on. So in here tonight we've got, let's see, Paul, I'll just bring you in, make sure people can see it. There we go, now we can see Paul in the picture. We've got Dave Thomas, say hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Grant, we've got James.
How's it going?
There we go. Liam Mahadi's back for his third version of the podcast. If he's as shit as he was the last two times, he won't be coming on again, right? So that's a warning. And then, of course, we've got Paul at Lynn. Paul is from Backpage Football and Daily Star.
Daily Star,
yeah, grand. We're in tonight. So this is the 20-minute segment we do normally on Periscope. We're also on Facebook Live tonight, and we're also on YouTube Live as well. So it's literally going across every platform we can find. But we're going to do a first 20-minute segment for people who haven't joined us before, mainly just around a different topic of the day. Then we'll do the main podcast, which is around the Liverpool thing. So lads, the thing I want to open up on tonight is the Neymar move to Paris Saint-Germain, and it's supposed above board transaction of him buying out his contract and then PSG signing him on a free. I think Qatar are making him an ambassador for just the amount of money it's going to cost him to buy out his contract. What's your feeling on that?
Absolute bullshit.
Pure coincidence.
Pure coincidence. Just happens that two jobs came along at the right time from. Well, Paul, I'm asking, since it's your first time, I'm asking your opinion on this. Is this just a blatant attempt to circumvent financial fair play?
I would say that's exactly what it is, but it's going to be interesting. The whole summer has been kind of these question marks about FFP. The whole summer as to what rules apply now, how do they apply. This particular instance looks transparent as transparent could be, I guess. You know, the fact that effectively, the owners of the club are looking for a way to completely get around this job, ambassador job, for how many minutes? Great job.
That's a great job.
Get a lot of Frere Rocher for that. So, it seems transparent. The question as to when it's going to be investigated and how, I guess, is what's going to be really interesting.
Well, it's also going to be interesting because UEFA, who wrote the FFP, Platini, his son works for Qatar.
Yes.
Are UEFA going to go after? They're not going to go after PSG, or certainly not going to after Qatar over this, unless Barcelona kick up a real stink. So it's whether they get away with it, which I think they will.
Well, I'm concerned to say too much because I'm hoping for an ambassadorial role.
We are very big in Qatar. To be honest.
Yeah, and I think it's the World Cup's going to be a huge success.
Yeah, and Richard Keys is great.
Yeah, it may be a massive. I suppose they say whether Barcelona kick up a fuss and whether the other big clubs kick up a fuss. City aren't going to kick up a fuss. I dare say they'll probably just keep their heads down.
Barcelona said they would. They said they
kind of have to.
Yeah, they have to.
But are they really going to kick up a fuss? Aren't they sponsored by Qatar Airways? Who was they sponsored by? They were sponsored by UNESCO at one stage, and then they did sign a big.
Barcelona is sponsored by
Qatar Airways, right? They did the UNESCO.
They're not anymore now. They're sponsored by
yes.
I don't know, some other thing.
Or maybe they will kick up a fuss.
But isn't it in FFP? I thought PSG could legitimately spend this money on Neymar, provided it was
made the money.
Equity in the club. Right?
Yeah,
so the owners can give PSG
Man
the money.
City did with the training ground and played all the money.
So they can give.
Yeah. But within the training ground, you can definitely give.
The training ground's almost off the box.
Yeah.
But if the owners put equity in and say, I'm investing 200 million, it's not debt, it's just investment. I always thought that was okay, but I don't know if that's capped maybe at a certain amount.
I think there's an issue of fair market value, etc.
That's
the issue whether Neymar is fair market value at, what are they talking about? How much is it to buy out his contract? 220? That seems vast, and it's pretty obvious that they're trying to get around the rules. So I mean, if you either have the rules or you don't, and if they can't make that rule stick, you'd imagine this deal, then the rules.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we make Coutinho a Liverpool ambassador. Make sure he stays. He can do guided tours around Anfield and the docks.
That doesn't convince
lock him in.
Don't mind me.
You're messing around?
Yeah, I'm just messing around. Yeah, sorry, just technology. I just
get all excited.
Sidetracked on the stuff going on. I'm trying to see what the messages are coming in on the account, because obviously we're doing something slightly different having audio. Right, look, moving on from that, I suppose everything is dominated at this moment in time in terms of transfers, and it's the only focus that's on. I know we'll talk about the proper football on the
Yeah.
podcast and the upcoming games and the games that we played. But one of the big questions, that's around it is, and it's one that's been put today. Outside of Manchester City and England, who are making the big moves in the transfer market? Liverpool fans, we're losing our heads that we've only signed Salah and we've only signed Robertson. And
Who's Spurs sign?
But this is what I want to ask, right? So, when you look at our potential top 5, top 6 rivals that are going to be there, and we want to challenge for a league title, who has actually strengthened outside of City in comparison to what they had last year?
Well,
Arsenal.
United have as well.
Yeah.
For sure, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, well, I suppose the United thing is interesting. Is Lukaku going to outscore Ibrahimovic? So, if you lose Ibrahimovic, replace him with Lukaku, is Lukaku going to get the same number of goals?
He may not, but he may play more to the way that Mourinho wants
Yeah.
to play and allow him to play his team as he wants to play.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
he's
think
been-
you're right.
Last season he was kind of making do with what he had. That wasn't how he wanted to play.
Yeah.
It's not his. It's. There were elements of how he wanted to play. Certainly in the Europa League final, that's how he wants to play.
Yeah.
But with players that he wants who will do a job for him,
Yeah.
I think he doesn't want. He knows that he realised early on he couldn't play Rooney and Ibrahimovic in the same team because
Yeah.
he had no running power at all. in the
Yeah.
team. So now Lukaku's going to offer him so much up front, or should do.
Yeah.
He's going to have Matic in midfield now after today, which we're talking about, the height of the side, the power of the side. He's a classic Mourinho player, and he's going to give him. I'd imagine he's been bought probably to play beside Herrera to let Pogba now finally free, which is Pogba at his best Juventus is when he had somebody in behind, maybe playing in the 3, and he had freedom to roam from that from midfield, and he should have it this time. If he can't do it from this, then he's probably not going to do it. But
I mean, I see the argument on United. I still think they miss wide players because that's a Mourinho thing. Is the two that usually play beside the striker.
But I don't want to get bogged down in United because personally I think if they sign Lukaku and Lukaku to give them the league, they've lost. And they're putting it out there that they're leaving their business till the last minute. This is the way Levy's on.
Seem to keep reading is Barkley is kind of priced him out. He wants too much money and Spurs are not prepared to pay it for him in terms of salary, even because of their salary cap. So I'm not sure.
It's fucking shite.
Well, yeah, that's right as well.
I mean, I tell you what, a lot of our fans, would go on about FSG and their ambition. If I was a Spurs fan, I'd be pretty pissed at the moment. We just came second. They got the core there of a very, very good side.
But they are building a stadium.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, but
Which is having a massive.
you have to
impact.
be successful in the meantime. You have to compete in the meantime. There's never been more money in the game. So for Levy to be sitting there, there is no way they can repeat last season because there's no way they're going to have the injury-free season that they had for their main players.
But they
So-
tick the box
That says no injuries.
on the Premier Squad form. When you submit your Premier Squad form, you tick the box, no injuries.
Yeah.
Did we skip that one?
We always
five or
well,
six players already.
It's a 50-50 box. So, no injuries.
Every press conference
Right.
with Jurgen these days seems to be someone else is injured.
No
It's like-
injuries, and you don't get bonus points. Or if you leave the injuries box in, you get bonus points. Remember, we got bonus points through February and March when we couldn't win games,
Yeah.
and we somehow still managed to finish top 4. That's where we accrued our bonus points for the time that was there. But yeah, look, Spurs and Paul. Like, when you look at Spurs and you look at what they're putting out as being their goal for the season, which is to win the league, to have a title challenge, it's a bit of a roll of a dice and a gamble to leave your recruitment until the end of the window. Because teams can equally, and I'm sure most teams in Europe are looking at all the English clubs going, we're not dropping our prices. You want the player, you're going to still spend 50, 60 million euro.
Well,
when
it's
you're
just
not-
maybe-
against the fucking worst it gets. Like, that's how we ended up with Musa Sissoko last season.
That's it.
And that beat them in the whole big time.
Yeah, but they still finished second, I suppose, in the half of the last couple of seasons. And I think it may be just a judgment on their squad and on their manager that they feel with the manager they have, they can still be competitive with the squad they have. They still have a very strong squad, a good squad. And maybe where do you add, who are you going to add for the money? And given, no matter what you say, and I take the point about Levy maybe being slightly too conservative, it's a massive cost to build that stadium in London.
And the
That's
worry
an
for
issue.
them is, of course, that Harry Kane is a four-season wonder. You know what I mean? It's going to come to an end eventually. He's going to,
I think we say that every
return to
season.
the mean. Or
2
whatever
seasons,
it is,
Matt's first.
Yeah.
Oh
I think what's key though for them is that they haven't lost.
They haven't
Apart from
lost
Walker,
anyone.
They haven't lost the really, really big players.
Right, so the wild card of this, Alderweireld has a year left in his contract, right?
Go buy him now. You buy him.
This is
Yeah.
now this is where I'm looking at, right? So
Yeah.
Spurs will sell to any club in
Yes.
England as long as you're going to pay a price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? We've got 12 months left in the contract. I would argue, and I would argue till I'm blue in the face, we need 2 centre backs in this window, not just one. is he not the exact type of centre back we don't have?
Ah, top fucking
No.
drawer. Like, I think he's good. Like,
I don't think
I'd
so.
absolutely go for him.
And I'll tell you why.
Like, hang on, Lee.
Go on.
You go for him.
No, definitely. Like, I would like obviously. The only thing is though, like, if we're looking at fucking, the odds 65 million, 75 million for Van Dijk, I'd really see the owners putting in for Tilden.
Well, if we're not going to sign Kaiser, we've got another 70 million burn a hole in our pocket, so we could easily sign him and then maybe pick up, I don't know, maybe we could do a dodgy deal with Zenit for Paredes and bring him in for 20 million or something like that, and then make the money back in the pocket.
Brady is
Wasn't
never
there-
coming to Liverpool. Don't stop now. We've had
I think if we get everyone on Twitter to say Paredes will come to Liverpool, it may happen.
Look, there's two reasons why he's the wrong sign. The first is that I can't spell his name.
Okay.
The second one is I can't pronounce his name. So as far as I'm concerned, that's going to cause me a lot of problems.
You can't say Toby.
Yeah, but it's the second bit, It's the second bit. I can't be doing with
We
it.
just end up calling him Toby anyway. Like,
Yeah.
every fucking footballer we send.
I mean, I think that, I've made this argument on the pod before, that, centre-backs in the Premier League, a lot of the time it's about partnerships and it's about systems, right? So he's very good next to Vertonghen with Wanyama in front of him. Would he be the same player
With our-
the way Klopp plays and things like that? So I think, and I don't know the answer is the truth, but I don't think there's any such thing as a slam dunk centre back.
No.
I mean, I just think that
Not these
it's
days,
only
anyway.
when you put them in
But
the
not how
system.
we're going to play.
No, exactly.
We're always going to push up. We're always going to try and squeeze teams.
Yeah.
That if we're not going to play a defensive midfield player, and it looks like we're going to play a system of guys
Exactly.
in midfield in the front six who are going to have to play tight. We don't have the ball. But if
And the
anybody
reason he
loses
wants Van Dijk, I
concentration-
think, is
yeah,
because Van Dijk is a
recovery
footballer.
pace, and he's got
He's
recovery.
quick.
And
And
he's
a
a front foot defender, so he's
So
going
I
to
think
push,
that
push us up.
That's why he likes
Yeah.
Lovren. I know and I'm not getting into Lovren again, but the reason Klopp likes Lovren is because Lovren is a front foot defender and he tries to win the ball early.
I could argue against it. I don't see Spurs being a deep line defensive unit. I thought with
No, they're
Lloris-
not. I don't think they're deep line.
But that's why I think
Could suit.
he could
He
suit
could,
the
yeah,
type
yeah.
of defensive
He could,
unit that we want to
You
play.
don't know though.
The only difference he has Lloris behind him, who plays more or less
Yeah.
as another defender.
Yeah.
He plays so high up.
So we'd have to play Karius.
That's where, like, if you're going to play a high line defense,
Sorry, Lloris.
yeah, maybe we could swap them. Sound the same.
I was like, that guy, like, no, it was.
Who?
Lloris, I don't know, man. Fucking always found him a bit suspect. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he is. This is the thing. I think there's only two teams that have goalkeeping really sorted, and that's United and Chelsea. And then everybody else has goalkeepers of varying quality. Lloris is a very good goalkeeper, but he's prone to errors like any goalkeeper. And also, when you're pushing out, you're under pressure as a goalkeeper. That's more likely to happen to you. It does happen.
And when it goes wrong, you look
Yeah,
at the
it
time.
looks really
And
good.
that's the thing. But
And
like,
he conceded against Jones Flanagan, so
yeah, well, there is that. But then again, it was a world class strike. Like if Cafu is
Yeah.
coming over to meet you and come to your house and have a cup of tea, he's clearly a special defender. Special in many ways.
But
But
Arsenal then is the interesting one
Arsenal
as
is
well,
very
right?
interesting
Because-
because we've said, like, everyone looks at Arsenal and every year Arsenal are very much Liverpool from 1991 until 2001, right, where every season they bought the last piece of the jigsaw.
Yeah.
But what happened in between in the summer was they changed the jigsaw and bought the last piece of the
Exactly,
previous season,
yeah.
right? So looking at Arsenal and looking at who they've signed, like they signed Lacazette,
Good signing.
good signing, but does it turn the soft underbelly that they have into this?
Well, Arsenal never had problems scoring goals.
Yeah.
That was never their issue, right? So, okay, they'll probably, instead of beating Hull 3-0, they'll beat them 5-0, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the points they lose. They lose big games, so they have a terrible record against the traditional big clubs, particularly away. I don't think Wenger has won at Old Trafford in however long, or Anfield or Stamford Bridge or whatever it is. So that's their issue. Arsenal's issue has never been beaten, from 8 down. They do that pretty regularly, better than anyone, I would say. So is Lacazette, the question is Lacazette going to win a game of football by himself? Is he that type of player? I don't know.
That's
Right, I don't think
Sanchez,
so.
and we don't know if Sanchez is staying.
Yeah.
And we saw last season with Arsenal, Sanchez won them games because his determination. If they lose that, that's a huge loss.
I think you put Kante in the middle of that Arsenal midfield and suddenly they're a different
Yeah,
proposition.
tradition about Matic. Maybe.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly. I mean,
it's
that's the
in
type
there.
of thing
They're-
that they
they're-
need there.
that
They tried to
underbelly.
do it with Xhaka, but it turns out that he can't play football. So,
But hang on a second, and the reason why I said just hang on a second on that, right, is because we would have said, and we've said it on this pod many times, and other people have said it as well, You look at players when they've done the 4 seasons, we've had a difficult 4 season and they are unquestionably talented and the manager keeps faith in them, that they tend to blossom into their second season, as opposed to some players who come in and rip the place up in the 4th season and really struggle to play in the second season because teams have figured them out. You look at Xhaka this year, he could be a completely different player for us, because he's had a season where he was like a headless chicken running around and getting sent off left, right, centre. He did that in Germany, so that's not going to disappear out of his game.
But he can't pass. Or
But
tackle.
he could in Germany.
Or shoot.
No, what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. He has all the natural talent. He has all the natural
Well,
skills.
it's like Pogba. Like, is Pogba going to be as bad this season as he was last season? So it's a similar type of scenario, I think. There,
You can say it for almost
That's even-
anyone.
yeah, exactly.
bad.
Yeah,
But I don't think he was that bad. Like, I don't think he was fucking spectacular by any means. But people go on about Pogba's and he had a terrible fucking season. It's not sure we're all.
I think he had a terrible start for United,
Mm.
and I think he was much better in the second half
Yeah,
of the season.
yeah.
But I think Pogba is what Pogba is. Pogba is not a 90-minute player.
Mm.
Never has been. He can have dominating 60-minute
He's
spells
Gerrard.
where you can
He's Gerrard.
where you can destroy a team.
Yeah.
He could also be out of a game for 70, 80 minutes of it and have 10 minutes towards the end, which will completely fundamentally change how a match looks like and the result that's going to be there. And that, now, was he worth the amount of money they spent on? I hope. Not a hope was he worth that money, right? But they were prepared to pay for him.
But that's not even not relevant for United anyway.
No.
I mean, he's no Naby Keita.
He was no Joe Allen, however.
Who is
Joe
definitely
Joe Allen
worth it.
is potentially an older version of Naby Keita
Yeah.
with better hair.
But Pogba does remind me of Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, he's an interventionist.
He's an interventionist.
He doesn't run a game.
No.
He can't run a game.
Yeah.
And people keep on. He may think he can run a game.
Yeah.
And therefore he tells people he wants to run a game. And some managers give in. Others realise. I mean, even in the European Championships, Deschamps was playing them in a 2 with Kanté, and it just clearly didn't work and won't work and hasn't worked again last season. So if you let him free,
Yeah,
which is what hopefully Mourinho. I mean, not hopefully. I'm not saying hopefully, but I mean, you'd like to see a good player play well and find out how good he is. And I think he's got that potential. If Mourinho cuts him free and lets him free, but I think Mourinho actually doesn't really like free players. He's
Right.
got one.
I'm not sure he's mad about
many
Pogba.
years.
The one thing we haven't talked about is Chelsea, right?
Mm.
So, and Chelsea is the interesting one. Right?
Yes.
They've lost Diego Costa, who, despite his madness, is a goal
Goal
scorer,
machine.
right? and a goal scoring machine.
Yeah.
And when he's on the pitch, teams hate playing against him. Opposition fans hate him.
Yep.
But he just gets in people's heads and he just scores goals and he destroys oppositions. They've replaced him with Alvaro Morata, who has never been a goal scorer, a prolific goal scorer.
15 tops or something like that.
15 his top return was 15 league goals last season. He scored the same amount for Juventus over 2 seasons, over 63 games. So how do Chelsea replace Costa's goals and remain as effective? And I ask this because obviously they've lost John Terry, which should be it'll be different for them. But they do have Michi, who's into his second season that people have forgotten about. Who's a very talented footballer. But they are going to be missing Hazard for a long part of the first part of the season with the injury that he had.
Franchise.
Yeah.
So I think on
When did you do
Chelsea,
that?
there's two interesting things about Chelsea, right? So last season was a bit of a perfect storm for them, right? So Hazard came back to full. Costa had a great start to the season. They signed Kante. They changed the system. They had no Europe. Conte got training time, and they had a big squad. So all these things, they had a squad big enough.
And everybody else is in
and everybody else
transition.
is in
more or less,
transition.
the
Yeah,
managers,
yeah.
etc.
They've lost 17 players. Chelsea have released 17 players this summer, right? Now, a lot of those are youth and loan and whatever.
It's like
But
14 that haven't played a game.
it's still 17 players that their
Released
bodies,
the longest
right?
serving player who's never played a game for them.
Yeah.
Wasn't that bloke was like 29 or something?
He was
like that?
29. He was at the club for 17 years or something. I can't remember. It was some report that was there,
hold
right?
on, I think I know
And he
it now.
never played a single senior
Michael
minute.
Hector, was it?
Something like
Something
that.
like that, yeah. But the point on Chelsea is they lack bodies, right? So what's going to kill
He's an
Chelsea
ambassador for gas.
is they don't have enough players, and
And they're Champions League.
Hazard is likely to not have as good a season as he did last season, particularly if he's coming off the back. So take Hazard out. Who's their creative player then? Who's the guy that's going to run it for him?
Fabregas.
Exactly. But he's not. He's not that player, right? He's a good player, Fabregas, and he's.
They still have William
You
and
see him
Pedro and those
starting
who
them.
had.
Yeah,
Williams
so
will
Pedro
work
had a
out.
great
Pedro's the
season.
one that
Pedro's
Pedro
could do it.
Really fits that system as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pedro's the one where you'd go, could he step up and do what Hazard did? But that
think
would
they
be
need
my
to buy
worry.
again
They need
before-
another one. They need another one.
But they're the right team to go and buy players.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
Like they,
Yeah.
like they could, like a Keita now for them would Be a huge sign.
It really would, yeah. But they've missed out on all of their top targets, right? You know, they didn't get Van Dijk, who is his number one choice for
Not
centre.
actually walked.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Exactly. Not
They
yet.
didn't get Lukaku, who he wanted.
Yeah.
Who did he want in the middle? He wanted
He got who he
Nangolan,
wanted.
wasn't it? From Roma.
You want Nangolan?
Was it
I
Nangolan?
think he wanted.
Tom Mourinho wanted him.
Yeah.
He had to go back Bakayoko.
Yeah,
Bakayoko, sorry.
Yeah, they got him.
They got
They got back you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I still think they're missing an attacking player, like a number 10,
Like a Salah.
like a Salah, like a Mkhitaryan,
Like
Mkhitaryan.
who won't get a game for United. So it was such a
Solanke.
waste. Solanke, yeah.
Yeah.
Solanke's an interesting. We'll talk about him in the main pod itself, but and I think it's worth talking about because his style of play and what he's done so far in pre-season. But like looking at it, so the message really for Liverpool fans who have lost the plot on transfers so far. Calm down. No, the message I was like, continue to lose the plot. Don't sign any players. We're not going to fucking big, right? It's quite clear.
It's going to be like if we weren't losing our heads perpetually.
Do you know what?
We're one player away from having a great summer, right? That's a
And
reality.
I hate to break it to most. I hate to break it to most people who follow me on Twitter. I literally pop in and out every couple of days just to say something to see how many people.
You just throw hand grenades in. And
I just go in, say something, see how it. Yeah,
Like Navigator's the 70 million Joe
sit back. And when you're really when people are getting really angry, you throw a few flames on it. All you do is just go.
No,
Yeah,
really.
but I was right about that. Yeah, like,
Phil, for those of you who don't know Phil, when we signed Markovic, I always tell the story. Right? We signed Markovic. Phil watched him in a friendly for 5 minutes and declared that he was the worst player Liverpool have ever signed because he can't run. That's what Phil decided.
He couldn't
And
bend his knees.
He got to the point where Phil on this pod, and it's there recorded, said we should give Markovic to Derby and 15 million to get Jordan Ibe back.
Offload.
That was his solution to the Markovic
For all
thing.
clubs listening, Markovic is a great player and you should buy him.
So Phil likes to go big.
Okay, because I won't cover this in part, and we'll wrap it up on this one. But in terms of the players we do want to get rid of, so Sacco, Markovic, Moreno, right? Now Moreno is an interesting one.
I want to get rid of Moreno.
Yeah, I'll come back. We'll come back to that on the main pod, right? But just
Don't do this to yourselves. Don't go back in that direction.
on the Markovic and Sacco one, right?
Yeah.
Are we playing this smart?
I don't
And the
think we
reason
are.
why I'm saying it, right? So teams are coming in and saying
Isn't Saka just getting treatment?
I think no one wants them.
on his ankle.
It's just getting treatment on his ankle.
Is that the ankle injury
I
he
think
got when
that's
he was
what-
sent home from America last
I
year?
think that's what it is.
No,
I don't know why people are getting wound up about it. I think he's vice captain, probably. Just waiting to announce it, I think.
Yeah, they're going to play him and Laurie
Yeah,
before it's
it's-
game season. Future of LFC.
Saka will go to Saka will go to Palace.
Yes, I
They're
agree.
just waiting to
We're desperate to get rid
till
of
we're
him.
desperate to get rid of him.
Because we're not
Which
going
is
to play him. It's
yeah,
foolish
we're
when
not
we're not
gonna-
going to play someone. How do you say we're not going to
Exactly.
play for 30
It's
minutes?
stupid.
And when you've made it publicly known
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you're never going to play,
He's agreed terms. with Palace.
you've got one fit centre back, and you go, no.
And it's so serious that whatever he did, you just can't get back in.
Yeah,
No, nobody
exactly.
knows exactly.
So-
for sure. You can't
And he's agreed terms with Palace. They want him. That will happen.
Yeah.
So Saka will go. Markovic will go. I think Markovic will end up
Watford.
under Silva
Yeah.
again. Marino, I think we might keep,
I think too.
particularly because Milner's injured.
We'll come back to that on the main podcast. I think it comes out with his name. Well, and who else is left that we want to get rid of?
Brannigan.
Is Bogdan
Harris.
still there?
Bogdan is injured.
Is he actually still
Is
on?
that,
Yeah.
is that not called being a professional goalkeeper? when it comes to Bogdan?
I still think we're a forward heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a toss-up now between
Danny
Origi
Ings
and
or
Origi.
Origi. Yeah.
Ings, Origi,
Yeah.
one of those.
One of them goes on loan,
Yeah,
or
it should
gets
be.
sold. Like if somebody comes in with a big offer for Origi, I think
I'd
Origi
I
goes.
take the money and run.
I think he'll keep.
What would it take
I think
to
you
make
keep
sell?
Origi.
To sell what?
Sell Origi. What would it make it? How much? What do you sell at?
What do I sell
80
Origi for?
million.
Yeah. How much would have
What
to
would
come in
I
for you
sell
to-
Origi?
Kyle Walker.
How
Or
much
what
would
do you
have
think
to
the
come in
club-
for you?
Kyle
to sell
Walker
him?
was 55 million. Right.
Well, depending on the club that's coming in, but if it's
Right.
another English club, let's say it's Newcastle.
Does he
Say,
look about 20 and above, like?
if say Rafa comes in because he's looking for a centre
Right.
forward, I would be looking for at least 30 million
Yeah.
in that instance.
I'd agree with that.
Because prices have gone completely stupid in England,
They have.
and you have to ask for stupid prices.
Yeah, but
And he-
Newcastle
and
hasn't
Mike
spent that
Ashley.
money. That's
No,
the thing.
no.
So
And it's time to get revenge for Andy Carroll and
Absolutely.
Jose Enrique.
Yeah.
So we gave them 57 million for Andy Carroll and Jose Enrique, right? So it's time we started recouping some of that
Where have
money.
you got 57 million from?
Because we spent 7 million on Jose Enrique,
Right.
and Carroll cost us 50 million in pain.
Oh, right. I didn't realise how you were around it.
But he did 35.
Well, if you
So we should sell
convert him,
Origi for 36 then.
yeah, well, convert him to a full back.
Yeah.
Sell him to Guardiola for 40 million. He's only got three, and he wants two in each position.
See, I wouldn't sell Origi. Origi's got something. He's got something. I'm not sure what it is, but he's got something. And I think that
If he has pictures of Klopp, then he's
There's-
definitely got something.
I think there's a player there. He's got all the attributes to be a
Yeah.
player. He's got more pace than Sturridge right now. He's physically better than Sturridge. You know,
He needs to stop wandering off
yeah.
to the corner flag and hiding out there. So
One more season.
He's
One
got a
more
bit of
season with
skill.
Origi.
I would stick with him for another season.
But he also
Come on.
provides a presence up there that you might
Exactly.
just need, which Ings is not.
And,
And sometimes you just need someone who's going to run around.
and also, this is we're
My
talking
problem
we're
with
talking
Danny
about
is, all
we're
they have to
talking
get a
about
goal at least.
Like
Some
a
sort of
team,
goal.
yeah. I think it's not going to happen.
Right, I'm going to wrap this part up, so hang on a second. I'll do this. Okay.